Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fia Foodie. I appreciate you guys coming by the channel and checking out some of the what I find is creative stuff that I do. I'm sure you saw from the intro what we're going to be cooking today, but let me tell you a little bit of a backstory behind that. A few years ago, my wife, my brother, and some of my godparents and some of my dearest of family, we went and did a trip in the British Virgin Islands. Absolutely phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to do it, highly recommend it. If you've done it before, then you know all the places that we went. We went Jost Van Dyke, Norman Islands, all the good stuff. One of the things that I fell in love with there was the love, well, for a few things, right? The rum. The rum in the Virgin Islands and everywhere in the Caribbean is absolutely insane. I'd love to check out Cuban rum. Haven't quite gotten my chance to go to Havana yet or any of the other places in Cuba. But the love there, the rum there is absolutely phenomenal. The second thing I fell in love with was everywhere from Puerto Rico down to Venezuela loves their rice and beans. It's just kind of a staple dish that they have, and they do it phenomenally. It's such a simple dish, but they just make it so well. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that today, and then jerk chicken. Jerk anything, I'm in love with. Jerk pork, jerk goat, jerk chicken, anything. It's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. I almost cursed right there. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna be cooking today. I'm gonna put a little bit of my own spin on it. This episode's gonna be a little bit different than what you guys are used to seeing because I don't have my camera person here to walk around with the gimbal. So we're gonna just use some static video, and I'm gonna talk you through a very, very simple recipe and how it is that I kind of pulled this all together. So sit tight and let's go on this journey. So what do I have here? Right here, I have 2 pieces of organic chicken breast. Traditionally, I would like to do a half of a chicken, or a whole chicken rather, split it in half, do this recipe, put it on the grill the right way. That's the way I had it in the British Virgin Islands. I kind of cheaped out today. They were having a phenomenal sale on this organic chicken breast, and they were really, really big. So that's what I ended up getting. So what did I do this chicken breast? First of all, I cooked up a brine, and which was very simple. It was salt, some soy sauce, a little bit of molasses, and a little bit of sugar to kind of sweeten it up. You guys can skip the molasses and the sugar if you guys want. What it does is it kind of crisps up everything, which is kind of my personal preference. So not necessarily pertinent, but that's what I do for my breast. The next thing I did was I pounded it, sorry. Before I got to the brine, I pounded it really thin. I like to pound the chicken because it really breaks up those fibers and makes it a lot more, it makes it a lot less dry as I cook it on the grill. So I pounded it fairly thin, not as thin as say a chicken parmesan or some of the more Italian dishes, but pounded it pretty thin just to kind of break up those fibers, and then brined it for a solid 8 hours. The next thing I did was I made up some jerk seasonings. So this is a lot of things. First, I had some really good jerk rub. If you guys are in Texas, Central Market or H-E-B, if you're down in more the hill country or down in the Houston area, makes the best jerk rub. I only had a little bit of it right here, so I had to make up my own. So what it is it's a bit of cayenne, it's a bit of, I like to use a little bit of New Mexico chili powder. We got some chilies here. What else do we have? We got some thyme, we got some garlic powder, we got some nutmeg, of course some cinnamon, a little bit more chili. So yeah, so that's everything right there. And then right in here, I have a little bit of brown sugar because again, I kind of want that nice crisp crust on it. If I was doing a half of a chicken or 2 halves of a chicken, we would have that skin on there to kind of give it that really nice texture. I don't have that luxury here because I decided to go with the chicken breast, kind of make this nice and lean. And then the last thing I have is I got the grill outside going right now. I'm gonna lay a nice bed of charcoal down, and then for the wood, because I like to have a little, you have to have that wood flavor to it, right? So I don't have any of those sort of that Caribbean wood that would be used in the BVI in Jamaica, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Trinidad, Tobago. I don't have any of that here in Texas, so I got a nice little chunk of pecan wood that I sliced off. So that'll give it that sort of campfire flavor that I love so much. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, guys, one of the things that you probably saw that I missed was that I did not talk a little bit about the allspice that I put into our mix. And that was because when I laid all this out, I had completely forgotten about the allspice. So you guys probably caught that. I didn't until I was tasting. I'm like, something just doesn't taste right with my jerk rub here. And so I added the allspice, got the flavor profile the way I wanted. Another thing that I did was I added, I feel like a bit too much sugar in this, which isn't the end of the world. But what I want to do with that sugar is in that sweetness profile is I want to kind of knock it down a little bit with a little bit more spice. So I added a bit more some pepper flakes off camera to really kind of sweeten this up, or just to spice this up a bit. So I got it exactly the way I want it. I got the chicken the way I want it. The reason why I added the sugar was, again, I wanted that nice crisp crust on this whenever I grill it. So we're almost ready to go. But let's take a quick minute and talk about the different kind of jerk rubs that you can do. You can do a wet rub where you use, some lime juice. You can use a lot of fresh ginger. You can actually smoke your spices, which is the right way to do it. And it really kind of opens that up quite a bit. Another thing that I find with jerk rubs that works really, really well is some curry powder. Now, I was a little bit lazy and didn't really feel like mixing up my own curry powder. But yeah, some curry in there too would really I feel like just would give it a 360 flavor profile. So there's lots of different ways that we can do this. For us, I'm gonna show you how I do a dry rub and get that on the fire with a little bit of smoke from that natural pecan wood that I'm gonna be using. All right, so let's get to it. I'm probably gonna save this avocado until afterwards. So we'll leave this until after we chill everything down. What do I have here? So I have some red wine vinegar. I have a piece of ginger. I have a jalapeno. I have a mango that was peeled. I peeled that off camera, frankly, because that was the first time I've ever peeled a fresh mango, and I wanted to make sure it looked good. And then I have a shallot to really wake this up. So yeah, let's get to chopping. So as you probably saw in that segment, that was the first mango I've ever cut up. Usually I cheat and I use it from, I buy it store-bought and it's already diced for me. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys how I did it. You saw it all, including the dropping on the floor and the rinsing off. So we got the mango salsa. It's chilling out in there. I'm gonna dice up some avocado later. I just don't want it to brown out while I'm cooking this other stuff. And again, the chicken's on the grill, and we're gonna get to making the rice and beans too. Guys, so now I'm gonna make some rice and beans. I typically make all of my rice on the stove. The reason why is that's much more familiar to me. The thing is my wife has been getting phenomenal results from our cheap rice cooker. Problem is I don't really know how to work it. So, and Mama Bear is out doing girls' night, so I'm kind of riding dirty on this one. The things that I have is I have some organic black beans in a can. I got some organic chicken broth that we'll use as well. And then I've got some coconut milk, which I feel like is really important. I'm probably gonna stir in a little bit of paprika. I kind of like my rice and beans really, really white. When I stir in the paprika, it'll kind of yellow it up a little bit, redden it up a little bit. And that's not really just aesthetically how I want. Now, all of this is gonna get rolled into a burrito, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day anyways. But yeah, let's see if I can figure out this rice cooker. All right, guys, and we're back. So all of the chicken is off the grill. It came out fantastic. It got the perfect cook that I was looking for it. I'm gonna show you that in a minute. What I'm about to do is put the avocado back into the salsa that we made, and we're gonna start wrapping some burritos. All right, guys, so I let the chicken rest for a little bit. I'm gonna go with this blackened one first because that's probably my favorite. I like my chicken a little bit more blackened than a lot of folks do. And we just kind of turn it and slice. Oh, that's really dry on the outside. This one might be a goner. I probably let it rest a little too long before we jumped into it. Which is terrible because I spent all of that time brining that in the kitchen and in the fridge. So. What we can make of this. So here's the rice. Got overcooked slightly. Probably a little bit more than slightly. Let's spoon this in. Obviously we want some of this chicken as well. Let's go hearty on the chicken. And then you can't have a meal without some greens. And for that, we're gonna use avocados. Not quite the same, but you know, we do what we can around here. All right, so let's see if we can roll this up like Chipotle.